Chapter 76. Meeting between Master and Disciple, Gohan, and Trunks. Black Goku was knocked back to Capsule Corporation by Goku, who forced himself to stop and fired a gas bomb at him. Goku directly bounced it away, and the powerful impact overturned the time machine. When Te saw the time machine being overturned, he shouted nervously, "Oh no, time machine!" It was with this shout that Black Goku saw the time machine. Suddenly, the gravitational force caused by the space-time rift on Black Goku became stronger and stronger. Just when Black Goku was about to be sucked back, Black Goku fired a gas bomb directly at the time machine. The time machine was destroyed, and Black Goku was pulled back to the future by the space-time rift. Seeing that the time machine was destroyed, everyone was at a loss. At this time, Bulma seemed to think of something and hurried to the warehouse to look for something. After a while, Bulma came back with disheveled hair and threw out a universal capsule. There is another time machine inside, and this time machine is the one that Cell rode back then. Using the information left by Bulma from the future, modern Bulma sets out to repair the time machine. At this time, Tai T suggested going to see Gohan's current state. Piccolo said, "Gohan is no longer the same person he was back then. He has abandoned his martial arts and has become nothing more than a scholar." Te was a little surprised, but still flew towards the location given by Piccolo. At the school gate, Taitung was waiting for Son Gohan. Because of his attire, he attracted a lot of people's attention. At this moment, Gohan walked out. When Gohan saw Trunks, he didn't recognize him, he just thought he looked familiar. Suddenly, Gohan remembered and turned around and shouted in surprise, "Trunks! Brother Gohan!" Te looked at the gentle young man in front of him with some disbelief. Back then, when facing Cell, Gohan's face was filled with murderous intent, and his aura was extremely powerful, but the person in front of him completely lacked the powerful strength he had when facing Cell. In the park, Gohan bought 2 ice creams and ate them with Te, and they chatted for a while about what had happened over the years. "Trunks, you should have seen Otomoto. Well, Brother Otomoto is very strong, and I heard that he is also Uncle Goku's son. Yes, I fought with him when Otomoto and I first met. He was able to tie with me even before he could transform into a Super Saiyan. He really has great talent. Then I became a Super Saiyan, and he learned it just by watching me. Now he is as powerful as Dad and the others. Is Brother Otomoto's talent so strong? We have been training for a long time to become Super Saiyans, but he just took a look." Yes, his father said that when they were facing the 6th universe, there was a killer named Hit. This person had a skill called Flash Time, which caused his father a lot of trouble. As a result, Otomoto learned his Flash Time just by watching for a while. Isn't it very powerful? Hey! So this is how he learned to dodge. Unbelievable. Hee. By the way, you haven't met my family yet. Let's go to my house and take a look. Gohan took Taitung back to his home. Videl held Xiao Fang and Satan and greeted Taitung together. Gohan introduced Taitung, "This is my wife, Videl, this is our daughter, Xiao Fang, and Mr. Satan." "I know Mr. Satan." Te said to Satan. "Really? I will be famous in the future too. After all, I am the hero who saved the earth." Just then, the doorbell rang. Gohan opened the door and saw that it was Liliku and Noodles visiting. When Tato saw Liliku, he asked in confusion, "Brother Gohan, who is this?" "By the way, Trunks, this is Otomoto's wife, Liliku. She was born in the same place as Otomoto, and they are both artificial scions. Nice to meet you. My name is Trunks." "Trunks? How come you've grown so big? I remember you were still a child before." Liliku asked Trunks in confusion when she saw him. "I came from the future. What you saw before was my childhood self." "I see, Noodles, hurry up and say hello to future Trunks." Liliku suddenly realized, then turned around and started teasing Noodles. Seeing such a peaceful life, Big Trunks suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. At this time, Gohan asked, "Trunks, can you help me look after Xiao Fang? I have some work to do here." Chapter 77. Det promised Gohan that he would help take care of Xiao Fang, so Gohan went to work with peace of mind. However, Xiao Fang was so naughty that Det was completely unable to cope with her, and ended up making a mess of the house. After finishing his work, Gohan came to the living room and saw Xiao Fang trying to snatch the sword from Tate. Gohan immediately dressed up as a scion to tease Xiao Fang. When Tato saw the expression on Gohan's face when he was playing with Xiao Fang, he understood why Gohan gave up martial arts despite his great talent. After dinner, Tato said goodbye to Gohan and the others and returned to Capsule Corporation. On the balcony, everyone was having dinner, Little T was being attentive, Big T came out after changing his clothes and Goku and Beerus followed Whis to the 10th universe. According to Whis's investigation, the aura of Black Goku is very similar to that of a King Kai from the 10th universe, and that King Kai's strength is among the best in the same level. After hearing this, Goku's warlike gene was ignited, and he followed Whis to the 10th universe. Vegeta was training in the gravity room, and he didn't know how many training machines he had broken, but when he thought of Black Goku killing the future Bulma, the energy in his body burst out again. Otomoto also came to the Spirit Time Chamber to perfect his Super Saiyan Purple. He felt that he had no way to fully exert this power and always felt that something was missing. In the God Kai realm of the 10th universe, a young King Kai was making tea. Suddenly, with a bang, a meteor landed in the God Kai realm. It was Beerus and his group. The King Kai of Universe 10, Kvuz, stepped forward and saluted. Goku immediately ran to the King Kai and said, "Are you the powerful King Kai that Mr. Whis mentioned? Can you compete with me?" He was introduced. "Let me introduce you, this is my disciple, apprentice Kaishin Zamasu." After seeing Goku, Zamasu was shocked. In his opinion, Goku was obviously a human being, so why could he be so close to the god of destruction and even come to the king god realm? Gervis asked, "Lord Beerus, how come you have time to come to our 10th universe today?" "It's like this, an enemy appeared in the 7th universe, and he was wearing a time ring on his hand. We want to check if the time ring is lost." Weiss explained. "I see. Please follow me." Jivas led several people to the main hall of the Kaishin realm, and then took out the time ring. After checking, Weiss found that all the time rings were there. Jivas put the time rings away and asked, "Why do we have to come to our 10th universe to check the problems that occurred in the 7th universe?" "No, we are about to visit other universes. Don't come near me, you human." At this time, a voice came over, it was Zamasu. Goku kept approaching Zamasu, saying, "Don't be so stingy. Compete with me." Kvas said, "Zamasu, compete with him. Be careful to show mercy." Kvas's purpose is to make Zamasu understand humans. Zamasu has never liked humans before, so this is a good opportunity for him to understand humans. After hearing what he was said, Goku quickly said, "Wait a minute, you must not show mercy later, please fight me with all your strength." Kvas and Zamasu were obviously stunned. Beerus said, "Listen to him, or you will die." After getting the consent of Kvas and Beerus, Goku and Zamasu started a duel in the open space. Goku directly turned into Super Saiyan 2. This scene shocked both Gervasi and Zamasu. They did not expect that a human being could transform. Goku said, "The last time I fought a god was with Lord Beerus." After hearing this, Kvas was even more shocked and asked quickly, "Has this person fought with Lord Beerus?" "That's it. Why is he still alive?" Goku took the first step. Zamasu's fighting style was different from that of ordinary people. He did not choose to fight Goku head-on, but first used up his strength and then looked for a flaw to attack. Zamasu seemed to be at a disadvantage, but in fact he had been luring Goku to attack him, and then took advantage of Goku's attack to directly neutralize Goku's attack. Just when Zamasu was about to knock Goku unconscious, Goku gathered an energy bullet in his hand and fired it directly towards Zamasu's falling hand. The two forces cancelled each other out, and Zamasu and Goku exploded at the same time. Suddenly, Goku felt that the aura of Zamasu was somewhat similar to that of Black Goku. After a brief thought, Goku punched Zamasu directly in the face. Zamasu blocked Goku's attack and thought he had won, but he didn't expect Goku to suddenly exert force. Zamasu's strength was no match for Goku and he was knocked to the ground by Goku. First post 1 chapter, not before 8 p.m. Chapter 78. Zamasu couldn't believe that he was defeated by a human. When he was about to gather his energy again to kill Goku directly, Kyus spoke. "Zamasu, that's enough." Zamasu suddenly reacted and saluted Goku. Goku and the others returned to Universe 7, and Gervis said to Zamasu, "Did this fight make you understand humans better?" "That's right, Lord Kvuz, after this incident I have a deeper understanding of human beings, and I'm sorry for my previous thoughts." Zamasu said this, but what he was thinking in his heart was, "Yes, my previous thoughts were too naive, and creatures like humans should not exist at all." After returning to Earth, Tato asked about Zamaso's situation, and was said, Zamaso's aura is very similar to that of the Dark Man, but the Dark Man has a strong evil aura, and Zamaso does not have such a strong evil aura. Since you sense that aura from Zamasu, why don't you just kill him? No, although their auras are very similar, there is no evidence to prove that he is the Dark Man. That's right, and although he is very powerful, Gaku and I have fought before, and it is easy for him to defeat him. Beerus said. Yu was shocked. Looking at Gaku who was fighting with Beerus for food, he couldn't imagine that Gaku had actually fought with such a powerful being. Maybe he could solve the problem without even taking any action. Vegeta looked at Dato who was lost in thought. After dinner, Vegeta asked Dato to come with him. Vegeta took Trunks to the grove behind the Capsule Corporation, and then said to Trunks, Trunks, let me see the results of your training over the past few years. Fight me, let me see if you've gotten stronger over the years. Dato recalled the time when he and Vegeta were training in the Spirit Time Chamber. Vegeta at that time was a completely evil person and it was impossible for him to be like he is now. Then, he turned into a Super Saiyan and said to Vegeta, Dad, attack me with all your strength. Don't show mercy. Ha 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 ha. Vegeta laughed continuously, then suddenly opened his eyes, a blue light flashed, and Vegeta directly turned into Super Saiyan Blue. Tete was shocked, I can't feel any breath at all, but I can feel overwhelming pressure. What's going on with this form? Super Saiyan Blue. This form is when a Saiyan with the power of Super Saiyan God transforms into a Super Saiyan. So that's how it is. Uncle Gaku can fight the God of Destruction in this form. So that's how it is. Tete was still immersed in the powerful power of Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta said, What's wrong? Are you scared? Well, how about if you can attack me once, you win. Don't underestimate me, I have been training for a long time. When Vegeta heard Vegeta's mockery of his years of training, he suddenly became angry and directly transformed into the power form of a Super Saiyan. The muscles on Vegeta's body expanded and his hair became longer. Vegeta became angry when he saw that Vegeta was still relying on such a slow transformation. Gaku, who was taking a nap, suddenly felt Vegeta's breath and immediately stopped sleeping. Vegeta attacked Date, but Date cancelled his power form transformation the moment Vegeta approached him and threw a punch at Vegeta. Vegeta dodged it directly, and couldn't help but praise Te in his heart, use useless transformation to let me relax my guard, and then take the opportunity to attack? It seems that you have learned a lot over the years. An ordinary Super Saiyan versus Super Saiyan Blue is like a child versus an adult. Vegeta directly knocked Vegeta away. Outside the woods, Gaku brought Bulma to their training place. Bulma complained to Gaku, What are you doing? The repair of the time machine is almost finished now. Let me show you Vegeta and Trunks training. Gaku said. After saying that, Vegeta and Daitang flew out of the woods, but Daitang was knocked out by Vegeta. This scene directly frightened Bulma, and she hurried forward to check on the two people. After being beaten up by Vegeta, Dragon was thinking, with such a powerful force, they don't need me at all, Uncle Gaku and Dad can defeat the Dark Man. As he was thinking about it, Vegeta laughed, and this action made Vegeta particularly angry. There is another chapter to be posted around 9 o'clock. Chapter 79. Vegeta saw that Tato was smiling, and he couldn't stop being angry. He grabbed Tato by the collar and said, Are you happy about losing? What kind of Saiyan are you? If I were you, I would just die. Bulma stepped forward and said, all right, go take a break. The time machine will be ready soon, save your energy to deal with the Dark Man. After everyone left the woods and returned to Capsule Corporation, Otomoto had already come out of the Spirit Time Chamber. As soon as he saw Gaku, Otomoto stepped forward and said, Dad, please help me. What do you want me to do for you? I feel like there's something wrong with my power. Please fight with me so I can better understand this power. I understand. Where shall we compete? Let me think about it. Now, let's go to the woods over there. There's no one there. Gaku looked at the forest where Vegeta and Dato were training just now, and said, Why don't you just use instant teleportation to find me? I just came back from there. It was a familiar place again, but the people had changed to Gaku and Otomoto, father and son. Here we go. Gaku was the first to transform into Super Saiyan Blue, and then said to Otomoto, Okay, let's go. Then me too. Odomot directly turned into Super Saiyan Purple, but unlike before, the purple-red light on Odomot seemed to be more intense. The two collided in an instant, fighting back and forth, neither giving in to the other. While attacking, Odomot felt his own strength, but he always felt that something was missing, as if his strength was not being fully utilized. Goku used all his strongest power to fight against Odomot, but he was unable to gain any advantage over Odomot. Odomoto simply closed his eyes and fought against Goku. Gradually, Odomoto's attacks became very tricky and he kept attacking Goku's weak points. Super Saiyan God has a strong observation ability. The difference between him and Super Saiyan Blue is that the former relies on strange attack tactics to defeat the enemy, while the latter relies on powerful force to strike the enemy. Although both of them possess divine aura, their attack methods are fundamentally different. And Odomot's Super Saiyan Purple ultimately belongs to the ranks of Super Saiyan God, and has not reached Super Saiyan Blue. Therefore, Odomot's attacks have begun to evolve, and Goku, facing Odomot's strange attacks, can't find the direction of the attack at all. Just when Goku understood what was going on, Odomot suddenly changed his attack method. Although it was not as tricky as before, each attack hit the weakest point of a certain part. It's more like a delicate attack hidden under the wild attack. Every attack of Odomoto is extremely powerful, and every attack is aimed at Goku's weakest point. Goku was once again confused by Odomot. Finally, Odomot stopped attacking, his tightly closed eyes slowly opened, and the corners of his mouth began to rise uncontrollably. Success! I have found the most suitable attack for this form, the real Super Saiyan Purple, done. I haven't done anything yet, what's wrong with you? Dad, didn't I tell you before that I always felt that something was wrong with my strength? It turns out that I didn't understand the advantages of this form at all. Advantage? Yes, Super Saiyan Purple and Super Saiyan God are the same. Both are fused with the aura of God, but Dad, you and Uncle Vegeta further transformed into Super Saiyans in the Super Saiyan God state. I don't. Super Saiyan Purple has a feral power, but this form has an observation ability that other forms can't match. Combining the two is the best way for this form to attack. I see. No wonder your attack felt so strange and confused me. Goku suddenly realized, so, the attack method of Super Saiyan Purple should be the same as that of Super Saiyan God, right? Similar, but not the same. And Super Saiyan Purple consumes a lot of energy, so it is only suitable for close combat. I understand. Your strength has become stronger again. This is beyond doubt. We will have a stronger fighting force against the Dark People. Chapter 80. While Goku was fighting Odomot, the maintenance of the time machine was nearing completion and it was expected to be ready to set off tomorrow. At this moment, in the realm of destruction, the King of All actually wanted to summon Son Goku, and this move shocked Beerus and Whis. There was no choice, Goku could only put down what he was doing and go to the palace of the King of All with God Kai. Unexpectedly, the purpose of the Omni King summoning Son Goku was just to be friends with Goku. Goku said that he had a lot of things to do now and would come back after he had dealt with them. The Omni King gave Goku a button. The blue side allowed the Omni King to reach Goku in an instant, and the red side allowed Goku to reach the Omni King's palace in an instant. Goku accepted it, and then carried the unconscious Kaishin back to the Kaishin realm. The next day, Goku and others arrived at the Capsule Corporation early. Big Trot drove the time machine and took Goku, Vegeta, and Odomot back to the future. Everything in the future was destroyed. There was no place to stand on the ground. There was smoke everywhere and there was no prosperity as before. Tete took Goku and others to look for survivors. At this moment, a bullet was fired at Goku. Tete was quick-eyed and quick-handed and directly blocked the attack. The people who attacked Goku were the surviving soldiers. When they saw Goku, they thought he was Black Goku. Fortunately, they recognized Tete. After seeing that, several people immediately ran to him and told him everything. It turns out that during the time when Tete went back to the past, Black Goku attacked the remaining people more than once. Nowadays, there are only a few people left on Earth. When Tete heard that they knew he had returned, he quickly asked, "How do you know where I'm going?" "What's wrong?" Goku asked. "Only Xiao Wu, my mother, and I knew about this, but they are all dead." "Xiao Wu said that she is still alive," said a soldier. After hearing the news about Xiao Wu, Tete became very nervous, so several of them followed the soldiers to the sewer. It was full of survivors from Earth, and Tete also met Xiao Wu here. Vegeta took out the food, and the survivors rushed over when they saw the long-lost food. Gaku suddenly saw a familiar face. "You are Yakirobe." "Gaku. Yakirobe, aren't you dead? You are the one." At that time, the immortal Karin told me that this was the last senzu bean, and then he was killed by the android. As he spoke, Yakirobe burst into tears. After eating and drinking, Gaku and the others came to an open space, and Vegeta fired a gas bomb into the sky. Black Gaku was admiring his achievements from a high place when he suddenly saw a gas bomb shooting straight into the sky and directly landing in the open space where Gaku and the others were. After seeing Black Gaku, Vegeta turned into Super Saiyan Blue and said, "Let me tell you one thing. You will eventually die at the hands of this Super Saiyan Blue." Black Gaku remained calm. When Taitsuku saw Black Goku's expression, he was a little shaken, because before this, he thought that Black Gaku was Zamasu. But Zamasu has never seen Super Saiyan Blue, but Black Gaku has obviously seen Super Saiyan Blue. Is this what it looks like when a fighting nation puts on the aura of God? Black Gaku said with a smile, then he flashed in front of Vegeta and pointed his 2 fingers at Vegeta's throat. "You've been practicing for a long time, right? But you're still human after all." Vegeta quickly distanced himself from Black Gaku and prepared to attack. Damn it, he was taken advantage of. Compared to the last time with Kakarot, his power has become stronger. Vegeta rushed towards Black Gaku, but all this is useless in front of Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta directly knocked Black Gaku away, and the powerful impact force penetrated several buildings. Vegeta continued to attack Black Gaku. On the other hand, Black Gaku is no match for Vegeta at all. But is that really the case? Black Gaku smiled slightly, and Vegeta saw it, stopped attacking immediately, and quickly distanced himself. Black Gaku dusted himself off, then instantly appeared in front of Vegeta, and then kicked Vegeta in the abdomen. Vegeta was knocked back to the open space before. Black Gaku slowly walked over and sneered, "The human body can actually be trained to this level. After the reward, I will show you something good." Ha! A flash of light passed by, and the same aura as Vegeta appeared on Black Goku's body, but the color was dark purple. Chapter 81. What's wrong? This posture, according to your naming method, this form is called Rose Red. That's right, Super Saiyan Rose Red," said Black Gaku. "Super Saiyan Rose," said Big Te in shock. Vegeta was not convinced and rushed towards Black Gaku again. Black Gaku completely gave up resistance and was beaten by Vegeta. Suddenly, the corner of Black Goku's mouth slightly raised, and a sword of air suddenly appeared in his hand. Vegeta stopped attacking because the air sword in Black Goku's hand completely penetrated his body. Vegeta exited the Super Saiyan Blue state and fell from the sky. Gaku stepped forward and said, "Trunks, take care of your father," and then suddenly transformed. Taitsu was also shocked to see Gaku using his full strength. Before this, Gaku had never used his full strength when fighting against Black Gaku, but now, Gaku actually turned into Super Saiyan Blue from the very beginning. It can be seen that Black Goku's strength is beyond imagination. Gaku ignored Taitsu's shocked look and rushed directly towards Black Gaku. The two of them fought back and forth just like they did in Capsule Corporation, but this time was different, both of them put in their best efforts. Amazing! This strength is totally comparable. Not evenly matched. Vegeta said, dragging his heavy body. Suddenly, Gaku was scratched by Black Goku's air sword, and then was knocked back to his original position by Black Gaku. Just when Black Gaku was about to kill, a voice was heard. "Stop it here. Don't continue your evil deeds." The person who came was Zamasu, the apprentice king god of the 10th universe. Zamasu floated down from the sky and stood next to Black Gaku. Everyone was shocked. It turned out that Black Gaku and Zamasu were accomplices, and Black Goku's true identity was not Zamasu, but someone else. Otomote said, "Trunks, take Uncle Vegeta away from here quickly, and leave the rest to us." After saying that, Otomote transformed directly into Super Saiyan Purple and stood next to Gaku. Roar! Is this guy the one you mentioned who is even lower than humans? Zamasu said to Black Gaku beside him. A man-made product, humans are basically a lowly thing. He was created by humans, which makes him even lower. Whatever you say. I just want to defeat you now. Otomote said as he assumed an attacking stance. Humans are always like this. They are no match for God and yet they challenge God's authority again and again. So as God, I must punish humans. I don't care about the authority of God. I just want revenge for all the dead. Gaku said angrily. Come on. Human. X2. Gaku and Otomoto attacked at the same time, Gaku against Zamasu and Otomoto against Black Gaku. The two of them directly divided the battlefield into two places. Otomoto directly attacked Black Goku's weak points. Black Gaku was unable to resist at all and was directly suppressed by Otomoto. Just when Otomoto was about to kill Black Gaku, an accident happened. Black Gaku grabbed Otomoto's hand and sneered, "A powerful attack, but this pain will make me stronger." Otomoto hurriedly distanced himself. Black Gaku slowly stood up, then condensed an energy sword in his hand and launched a counter-attack directly at Otomoto. Upon seeing this, Otomoto immediately used the flash time to dodge, and then attacked Black Gaku from all directions in the flash time space. The flash time ended and Black Gaku flew out. Just when Otomoto thought he had succeeded, Black Gaku stood up again. The killer of the 6th universe, hits flash time? He, let me see your power. After hearing this, Otomoto was a little shocked. He was sure that no one else was present at the time, but why did Black Gaku know the people from the 6th universe? Is he from the 6th universe? Just when Otomoto was stunned, Black Gaku attacked Otomoto. Otomoto didn't have time to react and was directly knocked away by Black Gaku. Then Black Gaku took advantage of the victory and used the prince's fighting method directly on Otomoto. Countless gas bombs suppressed him, and Otomoto had no way to resist them all and had to take a few of them. At this time, Otomoto has been injured, and Black Goku's power is still increasing. What should he do? Only 2 chapters will be published today. Chapter 82. While Otomoto was facing Black Gaku, Gaku faced Zamasu. Zamasu's power is no match for Gaku, let alone Gaku who is now in the Super Saiyan Blue state. Gaku made Zamasu helpless with just one move. This was not a fight at all. It was Gaku unilaterally slaughtering Zamasu. Gaku stepped forward and kicked Zamasu away with a whip kick, then rushed directly towards Zamasu. Coming in front of Zamasu, Gaku attacked Zamasu and soon, Zamasu fell in the ruins. When Gaku saw that Zamasu was no longer able to fight, he turned around and planned to help Otomoto to deal with Black Gaku. As a result, Zamasu stood up from the ruins unharmed. Son Gaku, you are really powerful. It seems that what that guy did was reasonable. Zamasu. Why are you okay? Ha 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 ha, after all, you are still a human, but I am a god with an immortal body. You can't kill me at all. Zamasu laughed. Gaku got ready for the fight, but Zamasu appeared in front of Gaku in an instant, so fast that Gaku couldn't even see him clearly. Gaku quickly distanced himself from Zamasu, then fired several energy bullets at Zamasu. Zamasu didn't dodge at all and let the energy bullet hit him. After a burst of thick smoke, Zamasu's upper body was completely unrecognizable, but after a while, Zamasu's body recovered visibly. Humans are just humans. They don't understand how powerful God is. I've already said that I'm immortal. You can't kill me. Zamasu. Why do you want to kill all humans? You ask me why? He, humans are the garbage of this world. The existence of humans has tainted this beautiful world. The birth of humans is the mistake of God. As a god, I want to correct all of this. Therefore, I want to destroy all of humanity. You crazy person. No matter what you say, humans will never understand what God does. After all, I am God. You trample on lives at will and claim that it is for justice. What kind of god are you? Ah! Gaku roared, and the powerful airwave blew Zamasu so hard that he could not open his eyes. Gaku rushed directly towards Zamasu, and in the blink of an eye, Gaku was in front of Zamasu. Gaku punched Zamasu in the face. Zamasu had no time to dodge and was knocked away by Gaku. Gaku took advantage of the situation and instantly moved in front of Zamasu, then kicked him again. Zamasu was completely defeated by Gaku, while the situation on Otomoto's side was not optimistic. Black Gaku condensed an air sword in his hand and kept attacking Otomoto. The sharpness of the air sword was much stronger than that of an ordinary sword. If Otomoto was not careful, Black Gaku would cut him in two. Who are you? Why do you know about the 6th universe? You don't need to know, because you're going to die soon, low-level human. Asshole, don't underestimate the power of science. Otomoto roared, and the aura of God on his body became stronger. Roar. A mere low-level human actually possesses the power of a god. He must have trained for a long time. Black Goku sneered, and then said, "Let me show you the gap between humans and gods." As soon as Black Goku finished speaking, Otomoto used flash time to come in front of Black Goku. Just when Otomoto was about to attack Black Goku immediately made a defense in advance. "What? As long as I can predict your attack trajectory in advance, and your attack is too easy to guess." Black Goku took advantage of Otomoto's daze and kicked him away. Black Goku's growth rate is extremely fast. Now, even the flash that had the upper hand at the beginning has lost its effect on him. Ha 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 ha, awesome! Is this the power of Son Goku's body? It's simply too powerful. Otomoto was very confused after hearing what Black Goku said. Son Goku's body? What does this guy mean? Could it be that this guy has the same ability as Jinyu? Just when Otomoto was confused, Zamasu and Goku suddenly broke into their battlefield. It turns out that Zamasu has been luring Goku to attack, and then kept approaching the direction of Black Goku. Now Zamasu and Black Goku have met up. Otomoto slowly got up and got ready. Goku stood next to Otomoto and said, "Zamasu is immortal. No matter how many times he is attacked, he can recover immediately. Be careful. Only one chapter will be released today, and it will be updated at 9 o'clock in the future. The number of updated chapters will be determined by fate." Chapter 83. At this time, the battle situation changed from 1-on-1 to 2-on-2. Goku and Otomoto could deal with Zamasu and Black Goku alone, but if the two of them joined forces, even with Vegeta, they might not be their match. The cooperation between Black Goku and Zamasu is seamless. No matter what move Zamasu makes, Black Goku immediately knows what to do next and cooperates with him. They are obviously two people, but it feels like one person. Goku and Otomoto got into position. Black Goku and Zamasu sneered, then suddenly attacked. Two huge gas bombs attacked the two. The two men were unable to dodge and had to take the two gas bombs with their bodies. When the smoke cleared, Goku and Otomoto's clothes were torn and tattered, and they were both breathing heavily. Black Goku rushed forward and punched Goku in the abdomen, followed by a whip kick at Otomoto. The two were knocked out at the same time, and Black Goku and Zamasu gathered a super large air bomb and shot it at the two. Goku and Otomoto didn't have time to react and were hit directly, both returning to normal. At this time, Vegeta discovered that he had not brought the senzu beans, and Vegeta was seriously injured by Black Goku and could not be treated in time. Just when Black Goku was about to kill Goku and Zamasu, Xiao Wu attacked from the side, and Black Goku and Zamasu's attention was diverted. Yakurobe took the opportunity to rescue Otomoto and Goku. Several people held their breath and hid in a secluded place. Te prepared a time machine to send them back. After the time machine was debugged, Te planned to ask Xiao Wu to go back with him, but Xiao Wu refused. At this time, Black Goku was looking for the breath of several people, and suddenly saw the time machine started, so he rushed directly towards the direction of the time machine. Just when he was about to catch up, the time machine disappeared and Black Goku missed. Damn Scion! Forget it, they will come again. When that happens, let's put an end to them in our paradise. I, Zamasu, will do it myself. In modern times, above the capsule company, a time machine suddenly appears, startling Xiao Ti who was enjoying the cool air. Inside the time machine, except for Vegeta, everyone else was seriously injured. Bulma hurried over to check and was shocked to see Vegeta lying motionless on the ground. At the same time, in the King of God realm of the 10th universe, Zamasu was watching the battle between Son Goku and hit on YouTube. Zamasu was completely shocked by Goku's powerful strength. He never expected that a human being like Goku would have power comparable to that of a god. He also paid attention to Hit who was fighting against Son Goku. Suddenly, Hit used flash, and Zamasu was shocked. Lord Gvuz, who is this person? Zamasu asked, pointing at Hit in the picture. Oh, this is Hit, the killer of the 6th universe. His strength is equal to that of Son Goku, and his flash can jump through time. But I heard that he was defeated by Son Goku in the end. At this moment, one Super Dragon Ball after another came into Zamasu's sight. Lord Gvuz, which stars? Maybe it's the Super Dragon Ball. Super Dragon Ball. This is also the first time I've seen the real thing. This is a competition between the gods of destruction of Universe 6 and Universe 7 for the Super Dragon Balls. What do they do? Whatever you wish for can come true. How come? It must be a rumor, right? Gervis did not answer Zamasu. After Zamasu came out of the Kaishin temple, he flew directly to Lord Zuno's planet. Lord Zuno is the most knowledgeable person in the universe. Bulma and Jack came here before to ask about the Super Dragon Balls. Here, Zamasu threatened Lord Zuno and made Lord Zuno tell him everything about the Super Dragon Balls and Son Goku. Not long after, this matter reached the ears of Goku and others. Since Zamasu and Black Goku had partnered up in the future before, Goku and others had begun to suspect Zamasu. Coupled with what Zamasu was doing now, it makes them even more certain that it was Zamasu who killed Kaios and stole the time ring. Then he used the Super Dragon Balls to grant himself a wish. Goku said that Zamasu must have used the Super Dragon Balls to turn himself into an immortal, and then made another wish for the Super Dragon Balls to create a person exactly like me. No, I have a different opinion. Otomoto retorted, the Dark Man and Zamasu are the same person. How is that possible? They are clearly two people. Goku said in confusion. I'm talking about Zamasu 1 year from now and future Zamasu. Hey! Everyone was shocked. Chapter 84. Why do you say that? Vegeta asked. Future Zamasu has never seen his father, but present Zamasu has fought with his father. If he kills Lord Kaishin of the 10th universe, he can obtain the time ring. Using the time ring, Zamasu can go to 1 year later and use the Super Dragon Balls to exchange bodies with his father, and then go to the future where Trunks is and destroy humanity together with the future Zamasu. That makes sense, but why are you so sure? Bulma said. Aunt Bulma, you don't know, when he was fighting the Dark Man, he said, is this the power of Son Goku's body? Plus what happened this time, so I am so sure. I see. That's not good. This means Lord Jeevas is in danger. Goku shouted. Goku quickly asked Whis and Beerus to go to the 10th universe to protect Gervis. After they arrived at the 10th universe, they used a strategy because there was no evidence to prove that Zamasu had any rebellious intentions. Just when Zamasu was about to kill Gvuz, Whis quickly used time reversal. Just when Zamasu took action, Whis directly conjured up a glove to stop Zamasu's attack. Just when Zamasu was about to quibble, Whis took off his gloves, revealing a sword of energy condensed in Zamasu's hand, and the murderous intent emanating from his body was extremely strong. Seeing that his plan was exposed, Zamasu still wanted to take action. Beerus grabbed Zamasu's hand, and with his left hand, he said to Zamasu silently, destroy. Zamasu's body slowly disappeared, and since then, modern Zamasu has died. Several people returned to the capsule company and told DTE about this matter. Zamasu is dead, and the future has been changed, don't worry. Beerus said. Really? What happened with artificial humans back then won't change in the future. DTE was a little unconvinced. That's for you humans. The god of destruction will change time and space. I hope so. Trunks, take a break first. We'll go to the future together later. If nothing has changed, we can solve this matter. In the evening, after everyone had dinner, DTE was preparing to return to the future, and Goku and Vegeta also expressed their desire to go together to see the changed future. Beerus said, what? You don't believe me? There is a reason for this. If the future has really changed, why would I still be here? Said DTE. Yes. If the future changes, Trunks will not appear, so why is he still here? Goku suddenly realized. So I'm going to the future to verify it. Don't worry. It would be best if everything is alright. There's really nothing we can do about you. In this case, I'm going to. Bulma said. Bulma, why are you going? What if Zamasu is not dead? Goku said. If I don't go, will you be able to operate the time machine? Well, Aunt Bulma, I can, Otomoto said silently. Hey! DTE said in shock, when did you learn it? The first time I went there, I learned it just by watching you operate it. Under everyone's persuasion, Bulma gave up the idea of going to the future, and before leaving, Bulma gave a set of clothes to Dato. That set of clothes was exactly what DTE wore when he first came, but it was new. Several people boarded the time machine and went to the future again. In the future, as soon as they landed, they saw a mess, which was no different from when they left. Everyone rushed to where the survivors were, and Xiaowu was seriously injured when facing Zamasu and Black Goku. Upon seeing this, DTE crushed a senzu bean and fed it to Xiaowu mouth to mouth. When Goku saw this, he said, "You're amazing. Trunks, you're not afraid of mouth to mouth. Hey, haven't you had one?" Vegeta asked. No. Aren't you married? What does this have to do with my marriage? Dad, Uncle Vegeta is asking if you have ever kissed Mom. What do you think it is? Really? At this moment, two evil auras came, they were Zamasu and Black Goku. Trunks, you stay here to protect everyone, and leave the rest to us. Vegeta said and rushed out. Goku and Otomoto flew together in the direction of Vegeta. Chapter 85. Goku and his companions sensed the presence of Zamasu and Black Goku and rushed forward to fight them. Zamasu, I already know your plot. Hey? Really? What do you know? You used the Super Dragon Balls to exchange bodies with me, and then used the Super Dragon Balls to become immortal. Ha ha ha, that's pretty impressive. You can actually guess all of this. What on earth are you going to do? Why are you trying to destroy humanity? This world is an extremely beautiful world, but because of the birth of humans, this world has become ugly. After becoming a god, I want to correct this world. This is Human Zero Plan. Human Plan Zero. He, come on. Zamasu. Understood, Zamasu. Black Goku and Zamasu attacked at the same time, and Goku and his companions were knocked away before they could react. Zamasu came directly in front of Otomote, and the air sword in his hand exuded an extremely strong murderous intent. It starts with you, lowly human. Just when Zamasu was about to succeed, the same light as Zamasu's hand suddenly burst out from Otomoto's hand. The light penetrated Zamasu's body, and Otomoto smiled and said, I finally understand why you want to use the air sword. This move is not bad. Otomoto learned Black Goku's air sword when he faced Black Goku for the first time, but was seriously injured by Black Goku before he could use it. Zamasu, whose body was pierced, was extremely shocked. He never expected that this inferior human whom he looked down upon actually learned his tricks. Who? What's wrong? Are you surprised? I, a lowly human, actually know your tricks. He, humans are like this. We have to learn everything from God, but we can't learn it well. Just like you, even if you learn my tricks, it doesn't matter. You are still a lowly human. Zamasu simply ignored Otomoto's air sword and fired an air bomb directly at Otomoto. Otomoto dodged quickly, then found the right opportunity to counterattack. Zamasu did not dodge or evade, but used his body to withstand Otomoto's attack, constantly mocking him. It must have taken a lot of effort to learn this move. But don't worry, this is the last time you will use this move. Otomoto raised his lips slightly, and then said, is it difficult? I can do it after watching it once. You didn't practice for a long time, did you? No way. As a god, you are not as good as a human. Zamasu was angered by Otomoto's words and launched a strong attack on Otomoto. As for Goku and Vegeta, Black Goku was able to fight two people at once effortlessly and was able to handle the situation with ease. Black Goku is much more powerful than Goku and Vegeta, but Goku and Vegeta can only fight alone and do not know how to cooperate at all, so they are suppressed by Black Goku. But gradually, Goku and Vegeta's attacks began to coordinate with each other, and even Goku and Vegeta didn't notice. Gradually, Black Goku was suppressed. Suddenly, a big explosion was heard in the distance. It was Zamasu and Otomoto. Otomoto combined Vegeta and Goku's skills and launched a Kamehameha, which directly blew away half of Zamasu's body. Zamasu's body recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye, and then he said with a ferocious expression, a mere man-made creature actually caused me such great harm. It is unforgivable. Goku and the others stopped what they were doing and looked at Otomoto's attack and couldn't help but sigh, I didn't expect this kid to combine our moves together. He's really a genius. At this moment, Otomoto flew towards Goku and the others, and then shouted to Goku loudly, Dad, it's time to change people. Goku instantly moved in front of Zamasu, and Otomoto also came to Vegeta's side. Uncle Vegeta, let's leave this guy to the two of us. Humph, stop talking so much and just get on with it. Otomoto and Vegeta faced off against Black Goku together. This time, Black Goku was completely suppressed by the two and had no power to fight back. Before, Goku and Vegeta were fighting each other, so Black Goku could always find their weaknesses and defeat them one by one. But this time, Vegeta and Black Goku faced off head-on, with Otomoto supporting him from the side, so Black Goku was completely unable to attack the flaws revealed by Vegeta. Goku is facing Zamasu. Since Zamasu is immortal, Goku's goal is to restrain Zamasu. But Zameso's words made Gaku completely angry. Chapter 86. Zameso's immortality gives Gaku a headache. Although Zameso's fighting power is not as strong as Goku's, he can recover in an instant no matter what damage he suffers. Gaku could only keep attacking Zameso, and his strength kept decreasing. Zameso took the opportunity to come in front of Gaku and kick him away. Then he came to Gaku and said, "Son Gaku, as a human being, you can actually reach the height of a god. I will never let you survive." "Zameso, you bastard! Hurry! You're still being stubborn. You can't even protect your own family, what else can you do? What did you say? What happened to Chi-Chi and Goten? Ha 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 ha, they died a long time ago, the day your bodies were swapped." "What? Son Gaku, I killed your family a long time ago." Black Gaku got rid of Otomote and Vegeta and came to Gaku and said. "Not only that, that lowly human's family, Vegeta, and others are all dead. It was me who did it." "What did you say?" Otomoto and Vegeta caught up and just heard what Black Gaku said. "Shishi and Goten. Bulma, Trunks. Liliku, Noodles. You bastard. X3. Black Goku's words made the three of them explode, and their powerful aura created a big hole in the ground within a radius of dozens of miles. Vegeta completely ignored Zameso and flew straight towards Black Gaku. Gaku and Otomoto teamed up to deal with Zameso. Vegeta was overwhelmed by intense anger and launched a powerful attack on Black Gaku. Black Gaku had no power to resist at all and was beaten to the point of being unable to move. Zameso relied on his immortal body to deal with Gaku and his son, but the two men were so angry that they didn't care whether Zameso was immortal or not and just kept attacking. Black Gaku was beaten by Vegeta, but after a while, Black Gaku directly grabbed Vegeta's attacking hand, and then pierced Vegeta's body again. Vegeta fell to the ground, and just when Black Gaku was about to finish him off, Gaku saw Vegeta's situation and instantly moved in front of Black Gaku to block his attack. "He, ha 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 ha, son Gaku, pain will make me stronger. You are no match for me. Zameso." Gaku gritted his teeth and said, "For your plan, you not only stole my body, but also killed Chi-Chi and Goten. I will never forgive you." "Ha! Ah!" Goku's aura increased again, and he rushed directly towards Black Gaku. Black Gaku quickly crossed his hands to block, but Goku's powerful attack knocked Black Gaku into the wall of the building. Gaku kept attacking Black Gaku, his fists left after images, and Black Gaku was beaten without any ability to fight back. Zameso, who was fighting with Otomoto, saw that the situation on Black Goku's side was not optimistic and was about to go over to support him, but Otomoto directly blocked Zameso's way. "Do you want to go help, Zameso? Get lost. You lowly human." "Yes, I am a lowly human, but aren't you, a god who is no match for me without the Super Dragon Balls, even lower." "What? How dare you, a lowly human being, speak so shamelessly and insult the gods? I will kill you with my own hands." "Then let's try it." After saying that, Otomoto condensed a sword of energy in his hand and attacked Zameso. Zameso quickly condensed his energy sword to resist, but he was no match for Otomoto and had one of his arms chopped off by Otomoto. But in just a few seconds, Zameso's arm was back to normal. Zameso looked at Otomoto with a ferocious expression, as if he wanted to eat him. "Let me show you my improved skills." Otomote gathered his aura directly in his right hand, and then a single-sided crescent halberd appeared in Otomote's hand. "I didn't expect it to be a weapon like this. I thought it was a sickle, but this is better." Otomoto swung the air halberd lightly, and a golden beam flew towards Zameso. Zameso was unable to dodge and was split into two. After a few seconds, the two halves of Zameso's body were restored. At this time, Zameso's aura weakened a lot. On the ground, Dachioyu gave Vegeta the senzu beans, and Vegeta's wounds healed immediately. Then he transformed and rushed towards Black Gaku. Chapter 87. On the battlefield, Gaku faced Zameso alone, while Vegeta and Otomoto teamed up to deal with Black Gaku. Black Goku's power has become even stronger, and he is not at a disadvantage even when fighting two people alone. Gradually, the damage caused by Vegeta and Otomoto to Black Gaku has become negligible. Suddenly, Black Gaku exerted force and kicked Vegeta away, then fired a backhanded energy bomb to injure Otomote. The two men fell to the ground. Black Gaku said from high in the air, "He, pain will make me stronger. You can't resist me now." After saying that, Black Goku teleported directly in front of Vegeta, and then hit Vegeta with a zero-distance energy bullet. Vegeta was seriously injured again. Black Goku did not rush to finish him off. Instead, he came in front of Otomoto and condensed a sword of energy in his hand. Black Goku held his air sword to Otomoto's throat and laughed evilly, "It starts with you, lowly human." After a long battle and the injuries suffered by Black Goku, Otomoto is now completely powerless to resist. Just when Black Goku was about to kill, Tai T blocked Black Goku's attack. "Trunks? What are you doing here? Get out of here. He's not someone you can handle. Brother Otomoto, you are our last hope. I will ensure your safety even if I die." Tai Tak turned into a Super Saiyan and kept attacking Black Goku, but this level of attack was like a child facing an adult for Black Goku who had turned into Rose Red. Black Goku simply blocked Da T's attack, then kicked Da Te away with his backhand. At this time, Goku's physical strength had been almost consumed by the immortal Zamasu, and he couldn't even maintain Super Saiyan Blue. Zamasu came to Black Goku and stood side by side with him. Da Te stood in front of Otomoto. Otomoto stood up with difficulty and said to Da Te, "Trunks, you can't deal with these two people. Get out of here quickly. Brother Otomoto, you are already injured. Now let me deal with these two people. You take Uncle Goku and Dad away from here. I will protect this world even if I die with them." "What a big tone you have, Trunks," Black Goku said sinisterly. "Shut up. What you did with Uncle Goku's body was nothing short of murder." "Really? Your crime is worse than what I did." "Offense. Trunks, I assert that one of the reasons for eradicating humanity is you, because you changed the past and caused a new time ring to appear. This is evidence of your crime." "Black Goku, how many times have you traveled through time using the time machine?" "Zamasu, we know it very well. As a human being, you have violated God's taboos time and time again." "Black Goku, Trunks, you saved Son Goku who should have died of a heart attack. If he had died obediently like history, I would not have pursued this body." "Zamasu, but it is because of you that history has gone off track and distorted. This world is caused by you. This situation is caused by you, Trunks. Black Goku, and this is precisely because of you humans. The consequences of a pretentious time machine." X2. Big Trunks was a little shaken by what they said. Seeing this, Otomoto said quickly, "Trunks, don't listen to them, this has nothing to do with you. So we have to save the world from the sins of mankind." X2. "Zamasu, Trunks, you are a sinner. Black Goku, your foolish behavior." "Zamasu, the fire of justice that ignited in my heart led me to start the Human Zero project." "Black Goku, so, you killed all the people on Earth." The aura of Da Te was constantly increasing, and at this moment, Da Te was on the verge of anger. "I just want to save everyone, that's all." Da Te transformed directly and rushed towards Black Goku and the other two. But with just one move, Daichi was knocked away by Black Goku. Otomoto hurried forward to help, but Zamasu attacked him from behind. The two were knocked away together, and Otomoto, who was already seriously injured, fell to the ground and couldn't get up. Black Goku grabbed That's neck, then shot a gas bullet from behind that went straight through That's body. Big Goku fell from the sky, knelt on one knee, and looked at Black Goku and Zamasu fiercely. Zamasu and Black Goku continue to talk about the mistakes made by Dato. Da Te clenched his fists tightly, "If I am guilty, you can say whatever you want." "Ah!" Tai Tsukushi exploded directly, emitting a light similar to that of a Super Saiyan but somewhat different. The light dissipated, and at this time, Da Te was emitting a golden light with a blue aura, and his hair became longer. Chapter 88. At this time, Goku had lost his basic sanity, and the pupils in his eyes had completely disappeared, but he still instinctively walked towards Black Goku and Zamasu. Every step he took left a deep footprint on the ground. Suddenly, Det pulled out the sword from behind him and rushed directly towards the two men. Da Te's strength is already enough to briefly contend with Black Goku and the other two, and he is no longer completely defenseless like before. While Goku and Black Goku were fighting, Xiaowu dragged the seriously injured Saiyan No. 2 and Otomoto to a safe area. Then he took out the time machine and dragged the three people into it. While fighting with Black Goku, Dato had slowly regained consciousness. After seeing Xiaohu's actions, he desperately tried to stop Black Goku and Zamasu. Black Goku and Zamasu also noticed the time machine, so they rushed directly towards it. Da Te stood in front of the time machine to block it, and Xiaowu started the time machine and then jumped out of it. The time machine started up slowly, and Black Goku fired energy bombs at the time machine intending to destroy it directly, but Da Tou blocked all of Black Goku's energy bombs. Finally, the time machine was successfully started, and Goku and the other two successfully returned to the past. On the battlefield in the future, only Daichi was left to deal with Zamasu and Black Goku. In modern times, Goku and his two companions returned with serious injuries. Goten brought Chi-Chi to bring food to Goku. After seeing the injuries on Goku's body, he hurriedly asked Goku about it. Goku and Chi-Chi told what happened in the future. Zamasu not only took my body, but also killed Chi-Chi and Goten. I will never let him go. Blue can't do anything about Zamasu? Asked Piccolo. That's not the case. Trunks can fight against Zamasu, but that guy is immortal and very difficult to deal with. Why not just use the Mayfaha? Magical Wave. Goku suddenly thought of the skills developed by Master Roshi's master, Master Takeshi, when he was fighting against the first-generation Piccolo. The demonic sealing wave is a sealing move that can seal the opponent regardless of the opponent's combat power. However, if the enemy's strength is far superior to yours, he will die after using the demonic sealing wave. Oh, by the way, there's also Mayfuba. But I don't think I can use it. Let's go find Master Roshi. After saying that, Goku teleported away. Vegeta also left here and came to the Spirit Time Chamber to practice. Hey! I haven't finished yet, I also know Mayfaha. Piccolo was speechless after seeing those people leave. Uncle Piccolo, please teach me Mayfuba. By the way, Otomoto, you have a learning chip in your body. The demon sealing wave is not as difficult as the flash time. You should be able to learn it quickly. So, the three of them began their own training. Goku and Master Roshi learned Mayfuba, Vegeta practiced alone in the Spirit Time Chamber, and Otomote and Piccolo learned Mayfuba together. I have to say that the learning chip plus the Scion's training talent is so terrifying that one can learn a small skill like Mayfuba just by watching it once. However, Otomote had to practice many times before he could successfully seal the target into the bottle. Goku also had to practice with the turtle for a whole night before he successfully mastered the Mayfaha. Vegeta was even more powerful. He directly destroyed the entire entrance to the spiritual time chamber and rushed out. The three of them embarked on a journey to save the future again. Just after they left, Piccolo and Master Roshi discovered something at the same time. In Kame's house, Kame calls Piccolo with a talisman in his hand and says, Goku is still as fussy as before. He didn't even take the sealing talisman. Then he turned his head and looked at his desk. Hey! Why are my limited edition cool beauty pictures gone? Inside the Capsule Corporation, after Bulma sent the three people away, she saw Piccolo running towards her with a talisman. Where are Goku and the others? I'm gone. What do you want? They didn't take the most important thing of the Mayfuba. Piccolo took out the sealing talisman and said. It doesn't matter. Goku should have taken it from the Segui Senin. Goku took the wrong one. Teacher Wu Tian just called and said that Goku didn't take the sealing talisman at all. Ah! This is terrible. In the future, Goku and his friends came to where the survivors were, carrying the jars needed for Mayfuba. At this time, Dat was already seriously injured, so Goku quickly took out a magic bean and gave it to Dat to eat. After Dat recovered, he saw Goku and the others and asked. Uncle Goku, have you found a way to deal with Zamasu? Found it, this is it. Goku said as he took out the jar. Chapter 89. Tato saw the jar in Goku's hand and asked in confusion, is this the secret weapon against Zamasu? How do I use it? No, this is just the container needed for that technique. Since Zamasu is immortal, why not just seal him with the Mayfuba? Mayfuba? Yes, this move was developed by Master Roshi's master to deal with the evil Lord Piccolo. It can seal the opponent no matter how strong he is. Really? In that case, the Dark Man is the only one left. We just need to destroy him. Then Otomoto, you go and seal Zamasu with Trunks, and Vegeta and I will deal with the Dark Man together. I'm fine, Trunks, you should be fine, right? Of course, even if it doesn't work, we have to go. And so, the four began another battle. Dragon took the lead to lure out Black Goku and Zamasu, then Vegeta and Goku restrained Black Goku, and Otomo directly separated the two. After the plan was finalized, the four of them came to the ground to look for Black Goku and Zamasu. Just as Goku and his 4 companions came out, Black Goku's Zamasu came in front of them. He, I didn't expect you guys to come back again. We haven't destroyed you yet. Of course we have to come back. He, ha 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 ha. Foolish gods gave you wisdom, and you use this wisdom to think about things like this? I've seen that humanity's zero plan must be realized as soon as possible. Hey, Kakarot, where's the sealing jar? Oh. Oops, I forgot to bring it. What did you say? You idiot, you can even forget something like this. Didn't you take it either? Besides, do I look like I took it? As he said this, Goku raised his hands high to show that he didn't take it. Dad, Uncle Vegeta, stop talking. I'll get it later. Let's deal with the matter at hand first. Black Goku looked at the others who were not paying any attention to what Zamasu said and said silently, they are not listening to you at all. It doesn't matter, I'm just self-indulgent. At this moment, 2 figures appeared on the battlefield. They were the 2 Kaishin from the 7th and 10th universes. It turned out that when Bulma found out that the future had not changed, she angrily scolded Beerus and he ran away. Beerus went straight to Gervas to explain the matter. Jivas came to the future with Shinkushin. Stop, Zamasu! Said Kvas, the king of the 10th universe. Are you Kvas? How did you get here? Gyuas and King God Xin showed the time rings on their hands. I see. Time ring? You are the Gyuas over there. That's right, Lord Beerus told me, you've gone too far, Zamasu. Gyuas said to Zamasu. Goku reminded, wrong, Lord Jivas, that was your previous disciple. Goku pointed at Black Goku. Ahem, let's start over again. Kvas said to Black Goku, you've gone too far, Zamasu. Why did you do such a horrible thing? You asked me why. As long as all human beings are exterminated, the world will be beautiful again. This is unreasonable. Zamasu. Jivas, I can kill you twice, and I can kill you again. After saying this, Black Goku and Zamasu attacked at the same time, firing energy bullets at the 2 Kais. The smoke cleared, and Goku and Vegeta transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and stood in front of the 2 Kais. Goku asked the 2 Kaishin to leave immediately, but was refused. Vegeta didn't care and said directly, Kakarot, there is a change of plan, just go ahead. Got it, Vegeta, which one do you want? Of course it's this one that looks like you. You are so confident. I can beat the real you, but I can't beat an imposter. After saying that, Vegeta rushed directly towards Black Goku. Otomoto and Trunks hurried back to the base to look for the jar that Goku dropped. Vegeta trained in the spirit and time chamber for half a year. Now he is completely different from before and can even defeat Black Goku. Black Goku couldn't help but sigh, as expected of a scion from the fighting nation, he has become much stronger. Vegeta kicked Black Goku directly in the stomach and pressed him into the ground, then he attacked Black Goku directly. While hitting him, he said, want to know what mistake you made? Mistake? This body of yours was trained by Kakarot in countless battles. It is just borrowed for you. There are scion cells in his body, and only that idiot can control it with ease. Vegeta punched the ground so hard that it cracked. Black Goku lay in the pit feeling incredible. Vegeta grabbed Black Goku's hair and said, don't defile the scion cells, you fake. And then threw Black Goku out. Chapter 90. Vegeta practiced in the spirit time chamber for half a year. During this half year, except for eating and sleeping, Vegeta basically spent all his time practicing. At this time, Vegeta has surpassed Goku in combat power. Although Black Goku is very strong, he is no match for Vegeta. At this time, Det and Otomote had already obtained the earthen jar and were rushing to the battlefield. Black Goku and Vegeta were confronting each other. After being completely defeated by Vegeta, Black Goku smiled. Ha 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 ha, you really are worthy of being the Prince of Scions. But you miscalculated, pain will make me stronger. The moment Black Goku finished speaking, he directly attacked Vegeta. When Vegeta saw Black Goku launching an attack, he went straight forward to block it. At the beginning, Vegeta could fight back and forth with Black Goku, but gradually, Black Goku became faster and his attack power also became much stronger. Vegeta gradually fell into a disadvantage, and Black Goku began to taunt him, do you feel it, Vegeta? This is the power of Son Goku, you are just the appetizer. After saying that, the strength in Black Goku's hand increased a bit again, and Vegeta was knocked away by Black Goku. Immediately afterwards, Black Goku used instant teleportation to come in front of Vegeta, and then fired a gas bomb directly at Vegeta. Vegeta was severely injured again and fell from the sky. After Black Goku dealt with Vegeta, he came to Goku again. At this time, Goku was facing the immortal Zamasu and the rose-red Black Goku at the same time. Vegeta just fell in front of Dato and Otomoto, and the two Kaishin also came in front of Vegeta. When Tato saw that Vegeta's body was covered with wounds, he ran to him and said, "Dad! Brother Otomoto, give me some senzu beans." Upon seeing this, Otomoto threw a senzu bean to Vegeta, who gave the bean to Vegeta to eat. Vegeta recovered and said unwillingly, "Damn it! I didn't expect this guy to grow so fast. Uncle Vegeta, didn't you train in the spirit time chamber for half a year? Why did the Dark Man catch up with you in an instant? Every time a Saiyan is seriously injured, his fighting power will soar. The more serious the injury, the greater the increase in strength. This guy probably uses this method to become stronger. The setting in the comics is applied here. If you don't understand, you can go and read the Dragon Ball Super comics. I feel that it is better than the anime, and the fighting power has not collapsed." Why don't you and Uncle Goku use the same method, Dad? Kakarot and I have trained our bodies to the limit. This method is no longer effective for us. Then let Brother Otomote come. I'm sorry, Trunks, but after using the Kaioken in Super Saiyan Purple, my body has reached its limit. I'm afraid this method won't work for me. Ah! A scream was heard, and Goku fell from the sky, suffering considerable injuries. Seeing this, Dato rushed forward to catch Goku, and Otomoto stepped forward to stop Black Goku and Zamasu. Tete held Goku in his arms and slowly descended from the sky, then gave Goku a magic bean to eat. Goku slowly stood up and stared at Zamasu and Black Goku. Damn it! Trunks, how many senzu beans are left? Let me see. Tete opened the bag of senzu beans. There are 2 left. In the sky, Otomoto stepped forward and knocked Zamasu away, but Black Goku came directly in front of Otomoto and punched him in the abdomen. Zamasu also stepped forward and kicked Otomoto. Seeing this, Goku rushed forward and fought with Black Goku. Otomoto, use that move quickly. I understand. Otomoto kicked Zamasu away, then instantly moved in front of Vegeta, picked up the clay pot, and instantly moved in front of Zamasu again. Just as Zamasu stabilized his body, Otomoto's attack followed and Zamasu was knocked directly into the ground. Otomoto quickly opened the lid, Zamasu jumped up from the ground, and Otomoto directly used the Mayfaha. Magic Sealing Wave. A green light shot out from Otomoto's hand. Seeing this, Zamasu sneered, "He, I am immortal. No matter what kind of attack, it has no effect on me." This time he miscalculated, and the Mayfaha hit Zamasu's chest. A green vortex enveloped Zamasu, and Zamasu was unable to move inside. What? Otomoto shouted loudly and brought down both hands at the same time, successfully sealing Zamasu in the jar. Otomoto quickly closed the lid, then took out the sealing talisman given by Goku and stuck it on the jar. After pasting it, Otomoto was dumbfounded. There was a picture of a beautiful woman pasted directly on the clay pot. Chapter 91. Otomoto looked at the picture of a beautiful woman on the clay pot and was a little confused. What is this? Didn't Dad say that he had taken the seal from Grandpa Turtle? Why is it this thing? In the air, Goku saw Zamasu being sealed, so he said to Black Goku, "Zamasu, you are done. The other you has been sealed, surrender." Black Goku gnashed his teeth and looked in the direction of Otomoto. Damn low-level humans, they only do this kind of thing. Just when Goku and Vegeta were planning to defeat Black Goku in one fell swoop, the clay pot that sealed Zamasu suddenly broke, a flash of light passed, and Zamasu rushed out of the pot. Goku and Vegeta were stunned when they saw that Zamasu had actually unsealed the seal. Black Goku took advantage of the moment and fired a gas bomb directly at them. The two were seriously injured. Zamasu attacked Otomoto the moment he came out. Otomoto was caught off guard and was directly injured, but the injuries were insignificant compared to those of Goku and the other. Dato and the two Kaishins quickly protected the two. Zamasu came to Black Goku and said, "Humans always behave strangely, and they threaten the gods. In that case, use this. Yes, right now, we should abandon this weak body for the sake of our plan." Zamasu slowly took off the Potara earring from his left ear and put it on his right ear. "Human! Kneel before our glory." Before Tato could figure out what that meant, the two Kaishin shouted, "Oh no! They're going to use Potara." I saw Zamasu and Black Goku's bodies collide with each other, then there was a flash of light, and the two of them actually merged. My gesture is justice, my gesture is the world. Worship and praise this noble and beautiful immortal and strongest god Zamasu. Zamasu and Black Goku actually fused. The light on the fused Zamasu faded, and only a strong aura emanating from the fused Zamasu was seen. There is a halo hanging behind him, just like God, making people want to worship him. At this time, everyone came out and only Dragon and Otomo were able to fight. Goku and Vegeta were completely unable to move, and the fighting power of the two king gods was even worse. But Zamasu didn't care about that and attacked them directly. Zamasu has already fused with Black Goku, so I will just call the fused Zamasu from now on, so you won't say I'm wasting words. The halo behind Zamasu emitted countless energy bombs, affecting an area of hundreds of miles. Seeing this, Otomoto fought desperately, but the fighting power of Zamasu after the fusion was not just the ordinary addition, and Otomoto was still injured at this time. After Zamasu's attack, Otomoto's clothes had become tattered. Date was just about to give the senzu beans to the three people, but there were only 2 senzu beans left, which were not enough for 3 people. Shin Kaishin said unwillingly, "If only I were a disciple of Kaishin, I could restore Goku and the others' bodies." Upon hearing this, Dato said, "Lord Kaishin, why do you say that?" King Kai explained, "Kaishin disciples can restore the bodies of others, but I am already King Kai, so I can't use this skill now. But when I was fighting Majin Buu, I was accepted as a disciple by Lord Kaishin. Do you know? Ah! I remembered that Xiaowu had already been killed by Black Goku, but I was holding Xiaowu's hand and begging her not to die. In the end, Xiaowu really didn't die. It turned out that it was because of this reason. Trunks, you have become a disciple of King Kai, but now you can only restore strength for 1 person at most. However, you have 2 senzu beans, so you don't have to worry about this problem at all." At this moment, Vegeta spoke despite his severely injured body. "Just restore these 2 guys. I don't need them." At X5. Everyone was confused, so Vegeta explained, "These 2 guys still have 1 more move that should be enough to fight Zamasu, so I don't have to recover." After listening to Vegeta's words, Otomo ate the senzu beans, and used all his strength to heal Goku's wounds. Both father and son recovered to their peak state, so they came to Zamasu and faced the fused Zamasu together. The above is based on the settings in the Dragon Ball Super comics and I added my own adaptations. If you don't understand, don't argue. Go read the Dragon Ball Super comics Future Time and Space chapter and then criticize me. Chapter 92. Zamasu looked at the recovered father and son and sneered. He then said, "You are just mortals, but you always fight against God again and again. It seems that you still don't feel the power of God. In this case, I will show you how powerful I, Zamasu, am. Zamasu, you lunatic, I must defeat you and restore the future to its original state." Goku said angrily. After saying that, Goku directly transformed into Super Saiyan Blue, but Goku did not stop increasing his aura, but used the move that Vegeta mentioned. Kaiu Fist. Otomoto was not to be outdone and also transformed into Super Saiyan Purple and used the Kaioken. After using the Kaioken, the two did not stop increasing their aura. Ha! Ah! X2. Kaioken 2 times. X. The two of them used 10 times the Kaioken before they stopped. At this time, their fighting power had reached its peak. The 2 Kaishin in the distance couldn't help but swallow when they saw the powerful aura of the two. At this moment, Goku and Otomoto attacked at the same time with such an astonishing speed that even Zamasu couldn't see their figures clearly and was a little dazed. But in this moment of distraction, 2 attacks hit Zamasu at the same time, one on the face and the other on the abdomen. The powerful attack made Zamasu lose his ability to resist, and Otomoto directly used the air sword to cut off Zamasu's left hand. Goku used Kamehameha from behind, and Zamasu had no time to dodge and was directly hit head-on by Goku. When the smoke cleared, Zamasu was seen standing in front of the 2 men intact. Goku and Otomoto were not surprised at all, as if it was a matter of course. The arm that was cut off by Otomoto also grew back, but the time ring on Black Goku's hand had fallen off along with the arm. Zamasu sneered at the 2 of them, and then said, "I didn't expect that you still have such a powerful power. I really didn't expect it. But you underestimated me. I have the human son Goku in my body. His scion blood will make me stronger. After saying that, Zamasu released his aura again, even more powerful than before, and then Zamasu directly attacked the two of them. At first, Zamasu was completely defeated by Gaku and Otomoto, but now, Zamasu is fighting 1 against 2 and is not at all inferior. On the other hand, Gaku and Otomoto's muscles were aching due to the Kaioken, but Otomoto was better than Gaku. Otomoto felt that he was already somewhat inferior to Zamasu, so he increased his own aura again. Ha! Ah! 15 times Kaioken. Otomoto used his 15 times Kaioken, and the situation of the battle reversed again. Otomoto chopped down directly, and Zamasu was unable to dodge and was hit directly in the face by Otomoto's attack. Zamasu's entire body sank into the ground, and Gaku took this opportunity to attack Zamasu crazily. Zamasu was completely powerless to resist, and Gaku stopped attacking, breathing heavily. At this point Goku's body had been pushed to its limit, and Otomoto wasn't in much better shape. Just then, a laugh sounded from the pit and Gaku and Otomoto quickly took attacking stances. I saw Zamasu slowly walking out of the pit. What a powerful attack! Even I, an immortal, feel a little threatened. But my power is not something you can resist. Zamasu came directly behind the two of them, and Gaku and Otomoto had no idea how Zamasu moved. Zamasu attacked the two of them directly. Gaku and Otomoto were caught off guard and were knocked away. Gervais, who was watching the game, said, "If we can hold on for an hour, the two of them will fall apart. We must hold on." Vegeta heard this and said in confusion, 1 hour? Isn't that forever? Everyone except King Kai only has 1 hour to fuse. Zamasu has not yet been baptized by me, so he is not yet King Kai. Isn't Zamasu the King of Kings yet? I thought Zamasu was already the King of Kings. Said Dato. To become a Kaishin one needs a baptismal ceremony, just like you also went through a baptismal ceremony to become a disciple of the Kaishin. Xin Kaishin said. When Date heard what Shin Kaishin said, he couldn't help but think of when he first became Kaishin's disciple. Kaishin danced in front of him for a whole day. It turned out that it was a baptism. Shinkai took out a clock and said, "It has been 30 minutes since Zamasu's fusion. We just need to hold on for another 30 minutes. It's impossible. Both of their bodies have reached their limits." Vegeta said. Chapter 93. But they had been fighting for a long time before, how come they were defeated so soon? Gvaz asked puzzledly. You don't understand Kaioken at all. This move puts a huge strain on the body. Vegeta thought back to when he came to Earth a long time ago. At that time, Gaku used King Ken to defeat Vegeta. On the battlefield, Zamasu knocked the two men down, but at this time the two men could no longer hold on and both returned to normal. Zamasu took the opportunity to attack and knock the two men out. As luck would have it, they landed right next to Dato and his men. But at this moment, Zamasu's body began to change. The left side of Zamasu began to fester, half of his body turned purple, and his left arm also became much larger. Gervais said, in Zamasu's body, the half that belongs to the Dark Man has undergone a mutation. Although Zamasu is immortal, the Dark Man is not, so now we need a more powerful force to attack Zamasu. At this time, Gaku said, if that's the case, then why don't we use the same method? The same method? Date was a little confused. Otomoto said, Dad, you mean Vegito? That's right, Vegeta, what do you say? Vegeta said nothing. Gaku looked at Vegeta anxiously, and then said, Vegeta, isn't it forever fusion? At worst, we can let Shenlong separate us after we go back. Well, Uncle Gaku, the fusion time is actually only 1 hour. The same is true for Zamasu. An hour. That's right. Except for the King of Kings, the fusion time for everyone else is only 1 hour. In that case, Vegeta, why are you still hesitating? Don't you want to avenge Bulma in this time and space? Vegeta looked grim, and then said, shut up, or I will quit if you keep talking. When Shinkai saw that Vegeta agreed, he quickly took off Patara and handed it to the two of them. Zamasu came to where the others were hiding, and 2 faint lights flashed. They were Gaku and Vegeta who were already wearing Patara. Suddenly, a beam of light shot up into the sky, and a figure appeared in it. Zamasu quickly asked, who are you? You used Patara's power, and I used the same method. I am the fusion of Vegeta and Kakarot, Vegeto. As he said that, Vegeto took out the last senzu bean from his arms and ate it, then shouted, "And this is, Vegeto Blue." Just by transforming, Vegeto exuded a strong aura, and the air wave blew Vegeto and the others so hard that they couldn't open their eyes. Zamasu looked at Vegeto, who had turned into Super Saiyan Blue in front of him, and felt a strong sense of uneasiness in his heart, but he still spoke with all his strength. Humans are always like this, always imitating everything God does, but they can't do it well. There are some things that only God can do, but if humans do them, it's a sin. Then let me see your power, come on. God. Zamasu attacked Vegeta directly. Vegeta looked disdainful and dodged Zamasu's attack calmly. Seeing this, Zamasu directly fired a gas bomb. The halo behind Zamasu flickered, and then a series of gas bombs formed behind Zamasu and were fired directly at Vegeto. Vegeto smiled evilly, slowly stretched out a hand, and then fired a key cannon, which almost offset the key bullet fired by Zamasu. Seeing this, Zamasu gritted his teeth, gathered his energy, and then fired a super large air bomb. Vegeto maintained his previous action. But at this time, Vegeto's hand was in a palm shape, directly blocking the energy bullet fired by Zamasu. What? With a roar, Zamasu's attack was easily resolved by Vegeto. Zamasu looked terrified, but Vegeto completely ignored Zamasu's expression and rushed directly towards him. In just a moment, Vegeto came behind Zamasu, and then Vegeto swept his leg across, causing Zamasu's festering face to deform and his whole body to fall rapidly towards the ground. Vegeto instantly moved to the ground, and just as Zamasu was about to land, Vegeto kicked Zamasu directly in the back. Zamasu was knocked away again. Vegeto stretched out a hand and shouted, "Watch out, Big Bang attack!" A large energy bomb was fired at Zamasu. Zamasu raised his head and the attack had already arrived in front of him. Zamasu took it head on. Chapter 94. A huge hole was blown out on the ground where Zamasu was. Vegeto slowly walked forward, stood in front of the hole, and then said, "What's wrong? Aren't you a god? Why are you so weak? Stop pretending to be asleep and come out." "As you wish." Zamasu's voice sounded from underground. Suddenly, two hands emerged from the ground and grabbed Vegeto's feet. Then Zamasu's entire body emerged from the ground. "No matter how strong you are, you can't move if your feet are tied." Suddenly, there was a flash of light, and Zamasu's hands disappeared. Zamasu was shocked by the scene before him. "I saw a golden sword of energy appear in Vegeto's hand, which was longer and stronger than his own." Vegeto smiled before stabbing his air sword into Zamasu's chest. Zamasu took a few steps back, and Vegeto taunted him, "You're scared. I didn't expect that as a god, you would be afraid." Zamasu said nothing, but his face was full of anger. Vegeto spoke again, "What's wrong? Does it hurt? Aren't you immortal? How can you feel pain? By the way, I am immortal." Zamasu said with a look of relief. "No, you are no longer immortal." "What? Haven't you figured it out yet? No matter what happens after you merge, that thing will remain in your body. That thing is the human Son Goku." After hearing what Vegeto said, Zamasu laughed instead of getting angry, and then said, "Humans are really stupid. It's really a blessing that Son Goku remains in my body." Saiyan. Son Goku. You are a human being, but you have gained power beyond the gods. Your existence symbolizes the failure of the gods who created this universe. As he said that, Zamasu exploded with energy and grabbed Vegeta's air sword. The aura emanating from Zamasu directly destroyed Vegeta's air sword. Vegeto saw this and quickly retreated, and Zamasu took the opportunity to leap into the air. "That is why I chose to merge with the human Son Goku. I will bear the sins of mankind and the failures of the gods. This is the duty of God." Vegeto was speechless. "You are too fond of making excuses. Actually, everything I do is for this universe and this world." Zamasu burst into tears as he spoke. Vegeto was even more speechless. "Why are you still crying?" "Yes, the world will become pure because of my tears." After saying this, Zamasu's aura became stronger again. Vegeto couldn't bear to listen any longer. At this time, Zamasu's gate was wide open, and Vegeto took the opportunity to attack Zamasu. Vegeto teleported in front of Zamasu and punched him, saying, "I've heard enough of your preaching. This is my home turf." Zamasu was knocked away directly, and Vegeto took advantage of the victory and continued to attack Zamasu. Not far away, Dato was watching the fight between Vegeto and Zamasu, unable to calm down for a long time. Very strong, right? Said Otomoto. Date was stunned after hearing this, and then said, well, I can't intervene in a battle of this level at all. After countless battles, Dad and Uncle Vegeta are no longer as strong as they used to be, and Vegeto, who uses Potara, perfectly combines the advantages of both of them. If it wasn't for the 1 hour, I'm afraid no one in the entire universe could compete with Vegeta, but Vegeta's chances to take action are few and far between. Hey? Why? Why don't Dad and Uncle Goku use such a powerful force? Sometimes, the two of them would rather fight alone than join forces to fight the enemy, and they are unwilling to even do the most basic teamwork. Why? This is the pride of a scion. Sometimes I feel the same way. On the battlefield, Vegeto completely suppressed Zamasu. No matter how strong Zamasu was, Vegeto could perfectly suppress Zamasu. Gradually, Zamasu's power could no longer be increased. The part of Son Goku in his body had been trained to the extreme, and now Zamasu's power has reached its peak. Vegeto walked forward and punched Zamasu in the face. Zamasu was knocked away. Vegeto then burst out with his strongest aura to end the battle. Vegeto opened his hands, then slowly closed them, and then placed his hands on his waist. Ultimate Turtle Style Chi Gong. Chapter 95. Just when Vegeto was about to unleash the ultimate Kamehameha, a flash of light appeared and Vegeto actually disintegrated. The big ones in the distance were shocked to see that Vegeto had disintegrated. What's going on? Isn't it less than an hour? Didn't expect that Vegeto's power wouldn't even be able to be sustained by Potara for long. Zamasu saw Vegeto disintegrate and attacked Goku and Vegeta directly. I saw an energy bomb coming towards Goku and Vegeta, who were still in a daze at this time. By the time the two men reacted, the energy bomb had already reached them. Goku and Vegeta hurriedly resisted, but Zamasu's attack still severely injured them. Goku and Vegeta both fell to the ground. When Zamasu came in front of them and was about to kill them, Dato took action. When Dato saw Zamasu was about to attack his father, he rushed forward with his sword in hand. Trunks! Otomote shouted, then rushed forward with Dat. Date held the sword in both hands, came in front of Zamasu and slashed fiercely, but Zamasu condensed an energy sword in his hand to block Date's attack. Then Zamasu used his other hand to fire a key cannon at Date, who took the attack head-on and sustained considerable damage to his body. Zamasu said angrily, Trunks, since you want to die so much, I'll start with you. Then Zamasu stabbed at Dato with the air sword condensed in his hand. At the critical moment, Otomoto dragged his injured body to stand in front of Date. Zamasu's air sword directly pierced Otomoto's body. Otomoto looked ugly and then spat out blood. Zamasu threw Otomoto away and said, this lowly human is such a jerk for interrupting my great cause. When Dato saw Otomoto being stabbed by Zamasu, he became furious. Holding the sword, he slashed at Zamasu regardless of the consequences. At this time, Goku and Vegeta dragged their seriously injured bodies to the front of Date. Trunks, go and restore Otomoto quickly. He can still feel a faint breath. Hurry, or it will be too late. Date reacted and hurried to Otomote's side. He put a hand on Otomote's body. A light flashed and Otomote's injuries were relieved. Not far away, the time ring dropped by Zamasu emitted a faint glow, as if expressing something. Otomoto sat up and said to Tato, thanks. Trunks, but now is not the time to talk about this. Let's deal with Zamasu first. Goku and Vegeta were struggling to resist Zamasu's attack and Otomoto and Tato came to their side. The four of them fought against Zamasu together, and they all suffered injuries to varying degrees. Facing the powerful Zamasu, the four of them were all in high spirits. Zamasu smiled contemptuously and then attacked several people. The four of them tried their best to resist Zamasu's attack, but Zamasu at this time was not someone they could handle at all, and they were knocked to the ground by Zamasu's attack. However, several people stood up again and attacked Zamasu desperately. Zamasu was a little angry. Why? Can't you just die peacefully? Let this world return to its beautiful state, which can be regarded as atonement for the mistakes you humans have made. At this time, the two Kaishin in the distance were sweating for everyone, and Xin Kaishin took out a timepiece and looked at it. 5 more minutes. If you can hold on for another 5 minutes, Zamasu will disintegrate. You must hold on. The four of them were already at the end of their strength, and were basically relying on willpower to hold on. Zamasu flew into the air, looking at ants like God, then raised one hand to the sky and said, "In that case, I will let you watch the humans you risked your life to protect perish." Zamasu shouted loudly, and countless lightning bolts fell from the sky, each of which struck where the survivors were. Te shouted angrily, "Stop!" The survivors' base collapsed and all the humans died underneath. The few humans who rushed out were turned into ashes by the lightning summoned by Zamasu the moment they rushed out. Only Xiao Wu survived because she was by the side of the two god Kais. From then on, there will only be Gaku and his 4 companions, 2 Kaishin and Xiao Wu left on Earth in the future. Chapter 96. Zamasu destroyed all humans on Earth, an act that completely angered Gaku and the other 3. The 4 of them tried their best to attack Zamasu, but due to Zamasu's powerful strength, all the attacks were easily resolved. Just when the 4 were at a loss, Zamasu's body underwent a strange change. Zamasu's body began to split, half was Black Gaku and the other half was Zamasu, and the 2 began to disintegrate. However, unlike when they separated from Vegeto, although their bodies were separated, they were still connected and they were resisting disintegration. Gervis explained, since both of them are Zamasu's souls, their souls have merged together within an hour of fusion, and now they are resisting the release. Zamasu and Black Gaku are still resisting, and are about to merge back together. Suddenly, Dato slashed with a sword, splitting Zamasu's body into 2. The 2 bodies that were about to merge together were forcibly interrupted by Dato. Zamasu and Black Gaku both fell to the ground, and Dato took the opportunity to stab the sword directly into Black Goku's body. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they saw that Black Gaku had been killed. At this moment, Black Gaku, who was lying on the ground, suddenly fired a Kigong wave at Dat, which directly seriously injured Dat. Gaku and the others were shocked, only to see Black Gaku slowly stand up, then pull out the sword from his chest and crush it with one hand. Gaku said in horror, "Impossible, you are not immortal, why are you still alive?" Black Gaku didn't say anything. Purple liquid appeared on Black Goku's body and wrapped around his entire body. Then he formed the appearance of fused Zamasu, and even his festering arm returned to its original state. Everyone was horrified, and Gaku was so frightened that he took a few steps back. Suddenly, Gaku felt someone touching him from behind. He turned around and saw that Zamasu had also stood up. The same thing happened to him as Black Gaku, and he also turned into fused Zamasu. 2 fused Zamasu. What's going on? Without any explanation, Zamasu kicked Gaku towards the other Zamasu. The other Zamasu saw Gaku flying towards him and punched him directly in the face. The remaining few people looked at the 2 fused Zamasu in horror. The 2 combined Zamasu hit Gaku back and forth like a ball. Vegeta looked at Vegeta lying on the ground, anger burning in his heart, and he forced himself to transform into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed forward. Vegeta kicked Gaku away, then came in front of the 2 Zamas and released a big move. Ultimate Flash. It all happened so fast that no one had time to react, and Vegeta and Ultimate Flash directly hit the 2 Zamas. After a long time, Vegeta stopped attacking, and saw a huge pit appearing in the direction of the 2 Zamas, and Zamasu's body was torn into pieces. Vegeta also became exhausted because of this move and was breathing heavily. Just when everyone thought the problem was solved, the fragments of Zamasu changed back again, and the number of people increased a lot. The resurrected Zamasu attacked the few people. At this moment, the 2 Kaishin quickly transferred them to a safe place. Zamasu and his men came up empty-handed, and the 2 Kaishin transferred several people to the ruins of Capsule Corporation. Te quickly took out the time machine. "Dad, Uncle Gaku, Brother Otomoto, let's evacuate here first. Then let's use the time ring to go back quickly." "No, there is a time ring here. Zamasu is likely to catch up. You go first. Vegeta and I will stay." "Dad, I'm staying too." "Otomote, you go back too. We have died several times. Your son is still young. You can't die here." "But..." Before Otomoto could finish his words, a voice came over. "You can't leave." I saw Zamasu standing on a tall building looking at everyone, and what was even more terrifying was that there were more and more Zamasu people, and almost the entire earth was surrounded by Zamasu. Gaku and Vegeta quickly took attacking stances, but now, neither of them could even transform into a normal Super Saiyan. Gaku touched his arms and said, "If only I had another Senzu bean now." "How is this possible? The Senzu beans have been eaten long ago." Suddenly, Gaku found something in his arms, and when he took it out, he saw that it was the button given to Gaku by the king of all. Chapter 97. Lord Kaishin, Lord Omni King should still be here in this world, right? Gaku asked with a smile. He should still be there. Lord Omni King can't be defeated by anyone. Dad, what are you doing? Hehe, I hope this thing is useful to the Lord of all kings in this world. Gaku smiled and took out the button. When Xinkai saw the button in Goku's hand, he was horrified. Gaku, do you want it? Gaku pressed the button under Shinkaishin's surprised gaze. A ray of light flashed, and the Omni King of the future world appeared in front of everyone. Gvaz and Shinkaishin opened their mouths wide, and the fused Zamasu and the others looked at the Omni King in horror. All King! The future Omni King suddenly appeared in front of everyone, and this scene shocked everyone present. The future Omni King was seen falling from the sky, landing on his face, then he stood up and brushed off the dust on his body. Mirai looked at Gaku and said, "Who are you? Did you ask me to come here?" "Hey, my name is Gaku, and I'm friends with the Omni King from another world." The king looked around and saw that everything was in tatters and dilapidated. This place has become really bad. That's right, those guys did it. Gaku pointed in the direction of Zamasu. When Zamasu saw Gaku pointing at him, he felt something was wrong. Did they do this? That's terrible. Yeah. They're bad guys. When the Zamasu and the others saw that Gaku and the Omni King were pointing all their attacks at them, they suddenly felt a sense of fear. It's really infuriating. Right. It's better to eliminate bad guys like this. Hey. Yes. After hearing what Gaku said, the Zamasu felt a strong sense of uneasiness, and then they scattered without caring about any plan. The king's hands glowed faintly, and he said, "A world like this. World? Gaku was horrified and said to the others, "Lord Kaishin, leave quickly. Trunks, start the time machine." Everyone was busy preparing. Gaku, Vegeta and Otomoto ran towards the time machine, and the two King Kais also quickly put on their time rings. Gaku and Vegeta quickly lay on the glass cover of the time machine, and the two Kais also used their time rings to return directly to the modern era. Otomoto ran towards the time machine with all his strength, but he was one step too late. The time machine started and Otomoto was left in a future that was about to be destroyed. At this time, Otomoto and the Zamasu were the only ones left in the future world. Just when Otomoto was at a loss, a tiny light caught Otomoto's eyes. In the air, the king raised his hands high and shouted, "Disappear!" The whole world was wiped out by the Omni King, even Zamasu was no exception. Just before being wiped out, Zamasu was still unwillingly shouting, "Damn science! My plan!" In modern time and space, Gaku and his companions came back in a time machine. As soon as the time machine landed, Gaku and Vegeta collapsed on the ground. Chi-Chi and Goten hurried forward to hug Gaku, and Bulma and Tio also came forward to check Vegeta's injuries. At this time, Chi-Chi asked, "Gaku, where is Otomote? Didn't he go with you? Why didn't he come back?" Gaku looked solemn, and then he said, "Otomote came back a step too late, and now I'm afraid it's already." Before Gaku finished speaking, Chi-Chi immediately understood and tears flowed unconsciously. Beerus and Whis came forward and were about to comfort Chi-Chi and Gaku. "Gaku, you..." Suddenly, a time and space vortex appeared behind Beerus, and Otomote flew out of it. Beerus was completely unaware of what was happening behind him and was directly knocked away by Otomoto that flew out, while Gaku and Vegeta were flying in the same direction. So Otomote knocked Beerus away, Beerus knocked Gaku away, Gaku knocked Vegeta away, and the four of them flew out together. Beerus slowly stood up, then said angrily, "Who dares to disrespect God?" Otomoto sat up and said, "I'm sorry, Lord Beerus, I didn't mean to do that." "Oh, Otomoth. How come you are here?" Beerus' eyes widened when he saw Otomoth appear in front of him intact. "He, something happened," Otomote said while laughing and scratching his head. Chapter 98. You kid, quickly explain what happened. Beerus didn't care about the fact that Otomoto knocked him away. He was now curious about how Otomoto avoided the attack of the king of all. Otomote explained everything, and it turned out that it was the time ring that helped him at that time. At that time, a ray of light appeared in front of Otomoto. Otomoto looked in the direction of the light and saw that it was the time ring worn by Zamasu. This time ring was left after he cut off Zamasu's hand. Odamote didn't have time to think about it and hurriedly ran towards the time ring. Finally, when the king of all was about to destroy the future world, he put the time ring on his hand. A space-time vortex appeared behind Odamote, and a powerful suction force dragged Odamote directly into the space-time vortex. That's what happened. After hearing Odamoto's explanation, Beerus was a little confused and asked, "How do you use the time ring? Isn't that thing only King Kai can use?" "I don't know. As soon as I put it on, it brought me back." "Well, I'm afraid it's because Black Goku wore the time ring for a long time, causing the time ring to react to the power of the Super Saiyan God," Whis said. "I see. By the way, Mr. Weiss, can you help me see what this is?" Odamote took out a scroll from his arms. "This is it." Beerus' eyes widened when he saw the scroll. "Scroll of Time." The two Kaishin said in surprise. "Where did you get it?" Beerus asked. "After being sucked into the space-time vortex, I saw this scroll inside, and then it suddenly flew to me." "Weiss, take the scroll of time back to show it to the time Kaishin first." "Understood, Lord Beerus. What about the time ring?" "Never mind. He is not a Kaishin and cannot use the time ring. Even if he can use it, if he uses it to arbitrarily tamper with time, I will not let him go." Just like that, with Odamote's safe return, future issues were completely resolved. Suddenly, Goku seemed to have thought of something and said to Trunks, "Trunks, can you start the time machine again? I have something to do." Although Date was a little confused, he still started the time machine, and when the two came back, Goku brought back a guest. The future Omni King slowly poked his head out of the time machine. Beerus, who was eating grilled sausage, was startled and quickly ran to the Omni King to salute. Goku asked King Kai to come to the palace of the Omni King. The current Omni King was extremely happy to see the future Omni King. Goku said, "H1, didn't I say last time that I would introduce you to a good friend? Now you won't be alone anymore." The two kings were so happy that they started playing inside the palace. The high priest at the side smiled and said to Weiss, "Is this your idea, Weiss?" "No, it's just something Son Goku came up with." "Really? Universe 7 is such an interesting place. Welcome to play, father. There will come a day." A few days later, Beerus and Whis came to Earth to eat, and Daichi also planned to go back to the future before Zamasu appeared, which was the time to fight against Majin Buu. When little Te heard that Big Te was leaving, he said, "Will we have to fight Zamasu again?" After hearing this, Dat also fell into deep thought. Whis said, "It's okay. I will go to the future and talk to Lord Beerus and ask him to help solve this matter." "Weiss, don't make decisions on your own. This will just add another world." "Roar, roar, didn't Lord Beerus also create one? When he killed Zamasu?" Beerus simply stopped talking. After all, what was said was true. Just like that, with everyone watching, Date and the future Xiaowu returned to the future. At this moment, Gohan rushed over with all his strength, and Dato just happened to see Gohan. Tai Ti looked at Gohan in front of him, as if he was back to the time when he was fighting against the androids. "Trunks? Take care." Gohan waved goodbye to Trunks. Dat activated the time machine and returned to the future. In the Kaishin Temple of Universe 10, Jivas looked at the extra time ring on his hand with a look of worry on his face. When he opened the box containing the time ring, he saw an empty space at the top. It was originally the future of Date, but it was erased by the Omni King, so Jivas placed the new time ring in it. Chapter 99. After Datou left, Beerus had a dinner on Earth. On the way back with Whis in the evening, Beerus said, "Whis, is it true what you said before that the time ring reacted to that kid because of Zamasu?" "Not really, Lord Beerus. Do you remember the battle with Goku?" "Of course I remember. I used 60% of my strength at that time. However, if I had used destructive power, I'm afraid Son Goku would have died long ago. That time, when Odamoto and the others injected the power of the heart into Goku's body, I felt that the power of God was born in his body. This is probably the reason why he can use the time ring." "What did you say? Are you sure it's God's power and not God's breath?" "There is a faint divine power in Odamoto's body, and this power is pure and powerful, and it does not belong to either the God of destruction or the King of the worlds." Why was Beerus so surprised? It turns out that mastering the power of God is several times more difficult than mastering the breath of God. Only a true God has the power of God. Goku and Vegeta can't reach this level at all now. This is interesting. By the way, how is the matter with the scroll of time going? I asked the time Kaishin, and she also checked the time vault. There was a scroll of time that was lost during the time of the previous time Kaishin. I'm afraid it's the one in Otomoto's hand. Don't tell anyone about this for now, otherwise there will be a big mess, understand? Wise. Yes, Lord Beerus. On Earth, Otomoth held the time ring and looked at it repeatedly, and even injected the power of the Super Saiyan God into the time ring, but the time ring did not react at all. So Otomoth strung the time rings into a necklace and wore it around his neck as a decoration. Time quickly came to several months later, it was now the 780th year of the AI. On this day, Goku was delivering goods as usual. On the way back, he also dealt with a few thieves. However, due to lack of exercise for a long time, Goku was also scratched. So after giving the money he earned to Chi-Chi, Goku put on his martial arts uniform and contacted Whis to destroy the God Realm to train. The two agreed to meet at Capsule Corporation and asked Vegeta to come along. They originally wanted to ask Otomoto to come along, but Otomoto was forced to go to work by Liliku. After Goku and Goten selected gifts for Beerus and Whis, they went to Capsule Corporation together. As soon as I entered the door, I saw Bulma with a big belly, sitting in a specially made electric wheelchair. It turns out that after defeating Zamasu, Bulma became pregnant again and is now close to giving birth. Goku came to the yard and saw Vegeta walking back and forth in the pavilion, muttering something. Goku stepped forward and greeted, "Hey, Vegeta. Kakarot. Why are you here?" "Vegeta, I came here to train with you. I won't go this time." "Hey. Why? You've already met Bulma, right? If you go to practice at a time like this, you'll probably be hated for the rest of your life. Then Vegeta, don't regret that I surpassed you." "Humph." Vegeta snorted and ignored Goku. Just then, Whis came. "Goku, are you ready?" "Well, Whis, let's go." "Vegeta, aren't you coming with us?" "I'm not going." "Hey? That's really rare. Actually, my baby is about to be born." "Oh my, Vegeta, you're going to have a baby." "It's not me, it's Bulma. I need to stay with her for the time being." So, Whis brought Goku to the realm of destruction to train. After Goku left, Vegeta started mumbling something again. After destroying the God Realm, Goku and Whis began to spar, and after a while, Goku began to complain. "This peaceful life has really made my body rusty." Goku suddenly seemed to have thought of something and said excitedly, "By the way, didn't Chuan say before that he wanted to hold a martial arts tournament for all universes?" So, Goku took out the button and prepared to press the red side, but was stopped by Beerus. But Goku was smart and teleported to the palace of the King of All. In the Omni King's palace, two Omni Kings were playing a game. Suddenly, one of them said, "There are too many universes. Why don't we destroy a few of them?" How many should we keep?" Let's keep 4. It will make management easier." Chapter 100. Just when the two Omni Kings were discussing which universes to destroy, Goku suddenly appeared in front of them. "Hey, Chuan." "Hey, Goku, you're here." "Ah. I can't recognize the current Chuan. How are the preparations for the martial arts tournament in the universe that you mentioned last time going?" "Ah. I forgot," said the Omni King on Goku's left. "This is the present H1, and this is the future H1. Martial arts tournament." The future Omni King was somewhat confused. "Yeah, it's fun." "Is it more fun than this?" said the future Omni King, pointing at the chessboard in front of him. "Well, it's more interesting than this." "Really?" The future Omni King danced with joy and kicked over the chessboard in front of him. "Then let's hold a martial arts tournament as soon as possible," Goku said excitedly. "Well, let's do it." "Great, I'll go back and wait for news." "Bye, Chuan." Goku left the palace of the Omni King and returned to the realm of the God of Destruction. Beerus angrily scolded Goku, and then they went to the King Kai realm to discuss the martial arts tournament with King Kai. When King Kai found out that Goku had done something weird again, he scolded him again. At this time, the High Priest arrived at the Kaishin realm. The God of Destruction and God Kai hurried forward to salute. The High Priest nodded, then took out a scroll and spoke. "Now read the notice issued by the Lord of all Kings. On the 153rd day of the royal calendar, starting at a clock, 10 contestants selected from each universe will gather to hold the Tournament of Power. After the High Priest finished reading, Gaku quickly asked, where is the conference held? The conference will be held in the realm of nothingness. The realm of nothingness. There is no time and space there, only endless nothingness, Beerus explained. The realm of nothingness is just as its name suggests. There is nothing in it. You can fight to your heart's content in it. In addition, the winners will receive Super Dragon Balls as rewards, just like the last tournament you held. Friendly reminder, 3 of them are provided by the God of Destruction of Universe 6, Xiongpa. That guy is collecting Super Dragon Balls again. Beerus said with a grim expression. Well, what reward will the winning universe get? Asked King Kai. Nothing at all. Oh, it's about reputation. Beerus said. No, the prize for winning is nothing. Hey? What does nothing mean? Gaku asked confusedly. There is really nothing I can do. This matter has not been officially announced yet, but considering that Gaku is a friend of the Grand Master, I will explain it to you first. The universes that lose this tournament will be eliminated by the Lord of all. Hey! Clear, clear. Everyone was shocked after hearing the words of the High Priest. By the way, Gaku, Lord Omni King needs your help with something. Help? The future Omni King has never watched the martial arts tournament between you and Universe 6, so this time I invite Universe 7 and Universe 9 to hold a preliminary battle called the All-View Tournament, so that the future Omni King can get to know the martial arts tournament. Please gather 3 contestants and come to the palace of the Lord of all Kings in 1 hour for the competition. Then, we will say goodbye now. After the High Priest finished speaking, he left. Beerus scolded Gaku directly, and then ordered Gaku to find the 3 people from the overall competition and the 10 contestants from the Tournament of Power. Gaku knew he was in the wrong, so he had no choice but to agree. Back on Earth, the first person Gaku thought of was Vegeta, but Vegeta said, I'm not going. If you want to go, go by yourself. But this time we're competing against masters from other universes. How many times do you want me to tell you that I'm not going? I know. Really, he's so fierce. Gaku looked at Goten and Trunks in the yard. Goten greeted Gaku happily when he saw him. Trunks attacked him from behind. Gaku watched this scene with a smile on his face. Vegeta said, let that kid go to this competition. Don't you have 3 sons? That guy is quite strong. You mean Otomoto? He is indeed very powerful, but I'm afraid Lilico won't let him out. Never mind, I'll go ask him later. Isn't there still Gohan? Gohan? Yeah. There's Gohan.